Who's that?
Here they come. Here they come. Welcome to the Field to the Deal podcast. Victory Friday,
Hey,
week
we should be off
7.
like the Broncos, but we not. We
Right,
here, baby.
right. Broncos victory. Broncos are 4-3. I don't care if it was the Saints' preseason team out there. You got to beat who they put in front of you. Carolina comes to Denver next week. I'll ask you guys about that. But how do you deal with also out of shape players, Peter Schaffer? We'll ask you about that with the Nuggets. CU's 4-2, and they're going to 3-3 Arizona Saturday at 2 p.m. Arizona's favored by 2.5.
Arizona's favored by 2.5.
Yeah, MLB playoffs. We're gonna get CJ's take on that. We got CJ Anderson, future head football coach at Toledo. Maybe I don't
Wherever,
even know.
man. Hey, wherever they want me, we gonna dominate and do our thing, right? We never look for easy, right? I heard that from a great prophet in this world today.
We don't look for easy. I'm giving play to us right now.
Super agent Peter Schaffer. He'll do anything to get out of a workout this afternoon. Give him platelets.
I worked out this morning.
Okay. All right. And we got Scott, the GM. He's somewhere in the world, probably watching film and lost track of time in the film room, but I expect him here soon. And I'm Rob Lazzi, and I'm just the guy behind the microphone. And you can find us on Apple, Spotify, after the show, wherever you find us. And I would thank Simpler.ai. In the digital marketing, it's a digital marketing company helping your organization be found in a complex digital world simply. That's Simpler.ai. In the description, there's a link to it. You can schedule your appointment, figure out how your organization can benefit from being found online. CJ, Peter, biggest takeaways from a 33-10 victory over the preseason Saints. CJ, we'll start with you.
I kind of looked at the stats yesterday. Right, Broncos played really well on third down. They got off the field on third down. They sustained drives on third down. They ran the ball really well. Obviously, they rushed for 220. Right, 225 to be exact, but 220 would start out there. But they ran the ball really well. They didn't turn the ball over. They created turnovers. I mean, complete game. Special teams played solid. Complete game, right? Something that if they can it's not something that they haven't done before. Like they've done that before, right? Like they did that. Was it week 2 or week 3? I can't remember where they had the complete game. Earlier in the season, but they did it earlier in the season in the first quarter when they had the complete game as well with those same type of stats and the same type of result. Blowout win. Oh, it's against Tampa. Blowout win, right? So as long as they keep doing that, right, it's good, right? It's good. It's good for the players, good for the coaches, and it's good for the fans right now.
Both games were on the road too. Tampa
yep, both games are on the road too.
You
gotta find a way to do that at home in front of your home crowd so they can be happy. Yeah, both games are on the road too.
What do you think about the Tampa Bay game in week 3?
It's the same. It was a complete game, right? Played great offensively, right? They did have a turnover, but it didn't hurt them. But great offensively, right? Ran the ball well, got to the quarterback, made Baker Mayfield look back, played well on special teams, but sustained drives and got off the field on third down. And I think they won the time of possession in that game as well. So that's 2 things. Like they've shown before, like Pete said, and they've done it on the road. We just got to figure out how Sean can do that in orange and blue and not just in white jerseys all the time.
Peter Schaffer, your biggest takeaways besides time of possession, because we know that's your favorite stat.
Well, if you remember before the game yesterday, I said the Broncos were going to try to stop Alvin Kamara, and they did, and that was huge. They went. Their game plan was to stop 41. They stopped 41. Everything flowed from there. And once the Saints couldn't run the ball, you have a rookie quarterback. And it looked like Vance was doing a great job of confusing him because he made some passes. You really think there were a couple interceptions that should have been had, and the game wouldn't even have been close to the first half. But again, and we said it a bunch last night, New Orleans is not a bad football team. And you do this to a pretty good football team. Tampa's a really good football team. You could see that when the Broncos do what they said and put it all together, good things can happen this year.
And then also just to throw this out there, not to be looking forward, but like when you look at the teams in the division, obviously they lost to the Chargers already. But when you look at the way that like Patrick Mahomes, 6 games, 6 interceptions, he's not playing his top ball. Like the Broncos defense is playing really well. Like you never know what can happen if you just keep your head down and keep grinding and what that can look like.
And if there was one takeaway I had from last night, is that Patrick Mahomes is not very good.
Yeah.
Who told you that?
According to one guy who don't think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, but hey, we all have our opinions.
That was my one takeaway from last night.
the one. So CJ, the big question in the running back room is Javonte Williams back? Is he now finally he's getting his stride back? Are you consider him back yet?
It's just tough to say. I'm big on consistency, right? Got to have multiple games for you to do that, to be that. I think the knee injury I think that's been taken care of. Obviously, he had the fumble last week, but Thursday night he played really well. They got him going, right? And I think that's another thing too. You gotta get him going. He had rush lanes, like Herbie and Al was showing it in the first half. The holes that he had, so he had rush lanes to make plays, to get going, gain that confidence, and it's them continue to build on that and work on that. So I'm not gonna say he's back, obviously, because you got to be consistent when you do it. But I am gonna say it's a step in the right direction, and if he can continue to run the ball the way he does it, Broncos is going, and protect, and Bo Nix don't turn the ball over, Broncos will be okay.
Peter, what would you be telling a guy like Javonte if he's your guy this morning when you're talking to him on the phone?
Well, I would tell him that the key to being a running back is no different than what with CJ when he played. You got to stack weeks. One good game, and all of a sudden people are going to watch film on you, just like the Broncos were focused on stuff in Alvin Kamara last night. Now teams are going to do it. It's easy that first time when nobody scouted you, when nobody's like, we don't care about him. CJ's first game, they couldn't even spell his first name. If I spotted on the C and the J, they would have struggled. Right after you put 100, $150 up, whatever, people start watching. You better stack games. You might take this morning off, but you better go get treatment. And you better start watching film on Carolina.
And I'm glad I got a chance to stack games. So that's why I say consistency is key.
Absolutely. So speaking of consistency, how are we rating Bo Nix's progress here after 7 games? What do you, Peter? Where are you putting Bo Nix as like? Is it the
what is our scale? What is our scale? Are we on the Apple scale? Are we on the 1 to 10 scale? Are we on
are you worried? Does he still have the future franchise QB title? Are you kind of eyeing
I
the
think
next?
I think he's moved from Ferris Bueller to Caddyshack.
That is a sound bite.
That's how I'm looking at it right now. Soon to be the Masters champion.
CJ, how are you looking?
I think that the one thing that Sean did last night a great job of is take a lot off his plate, a lot of simple reads, quick passes, easy completions, build the confidence, and as long as he keeps doing that, I think he's going to continue to develop. He didn't really throw the ball downfield a lot. They didn't have to make a lot of major plays. He did make a lot of plays with his feet, which was important. He looked like, as I was saying last night, he looked like a young Russell Wilson, actually. Ironically.
CJ, what are your thoughts on Bo Nix here after 7 games?
I think I still want Bo to listen to his feet. I think you got to get mechanically sound, and I saw that last night. I've seen it over the last couple of weeks. Like the reason why he missed some of the downfield throws, right? He got he's hitching 3 times on a wide open crosser, right? He missed it, threw it over his head, right? He's missing some, he almost throws an interception to the Tyron, right? He rolls instead of setting his feet, he tries to throw it on the run, and obviously he's rolling to his left, right? Rolling to your right. It's easy for him. Rolling to your left, you got to flip your hips. So I just think for me in this moment, right, is how can we get him back fundamentally sound to listen to his feet, to make the throws that he needs to make, right? Now I do agree with Peter. He did play he made quick throws. He got the ball out of his hand. He made some plays with his legs. But when you look at rookie quarterbacks right now, like Caleb Williams has grown because he's getting the ball out of his hand quicker and he's listening to his feet. He's hitting that 5th step, getting the ball out, right? 7-step, 1 hitch, getting the ball out. Jaden Daniels has been doing it, right? I think that's where Bo needs to get. I think Bo relies a little too much on trying to be crazy athletic and making plays, which there's nothing wrong with it because that's what makes him him. But I think on some of the down the field throws or some of the accurate throws, if you got a great base, just I learned from Peyton Manning. If you got a great base and you're listening to your feet, or even Gary Kubiak is that way. Sean McVay I heard him talk to Jared Goff that way. If you got a great base and you listen to your feet, right, you'll make more accurate throws. And that's just something I want to see from Bo going forward.
I think we're all excited to see Bo Nix moving forward. I kind of rate him. I like Peter's scale. I'm going to put him as Back to the Future too. It's not the best one, but it can get better.
Yeah,
so,
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'll give him Back to the Future too. So Saturday, moving to college football. CU, Coach Prime are going to Arizona, to the desert, to play Arizona. Arizona's favored by 2.5. Travis Hunter is expected to play. Is this a smart move after his last shoulder injury?
Well, Travis want to play, so it ain't like you can hold him off. Like, he wants to play.
Well, we don't really know, and we don't know what the exact diagnosis of the shoulder was. It definitely looked like, we don't know if it was a bruise, if it was a separation, any of that stuff. So it's really hard to say if they're being smart. Clearly, on Saturday night, he was in no position to go back in the game.
Yeah, he couldn't even lift it. Like, even when he celebrated with his teammates, it was like this. He couldn't even lift it. Right? He was holding his arm down and slapping it with the other hand. I mean, but obviously they need Travis, right? They need Travis to be a part of it. It makes the game easier, definitely on both sides of the ball. But like I said, I'm curious with the matchup. I mean, I know last night, if Pete can take one thing away last night, right? They say that T-Mac might, they don't think T-Mac is a top 10 pick, bro. T-Mac is fast. He got size. He got length. He can run. He can catch. Radius is crazy. T-Mac is cold. Like,
if he runs well, he could be a top 10 pick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he can run, though. I know he can run. I recruited the kid. We almost had him at Cal. We was that close before he went to Oregon and obviously hit the transfer portal. But nah, like, the matchup that they're gonna have is crazy, and they're gonna need Travis for that matchup. Like, outside of Travis, it ain't too many other corners over there that's gonna slow that man down. So they're gonna need that. They're gonna need Travis over there as that matchup. But like Pete said, we don't know about the injury of Travis because college football, you don't have to give the injury report. You don't have to put the injury report out there. It's not mandatory in college football. So we don't know if he had an AC sprain, shoulder separation, bruise. We just know he couldn't lift it up Saturday night. But obviously, whatever happened from week to week, he's good enough to play.
And the question really is, to me, is if you've got a guy like that who's got, he's a smaller bone guy to begin with, he's got an injury, you play him both ways. Or do you try to spot him, try to be careful, these are all questions that are going to happen, and work into the equation. And to me, the interesting thing about it is what CJ just said. You need this guy on your offense because you saw what happened last week against K-State when he went out. That offense went from dynamic to pedestrian. Boom, boom, just like that. But then you also heard what CJ just said, and Arizona's best player is the receiver.
Yeah.
So if you got to pick your poison, CJ, let me ask you this. You have to pick your poison, offense or defense.
You have to play D for me. You got to stop T-Mac because, like, I know Arizona offenses run through that. Now, Arizona runs the ball well, too, but they've been stopping the run fairly well in their time. But if I had to play Travis on one side of the ball for this game because of the injury, I need you to stop T-Mac. T-Mac a hell of a player. And if you put T-Mac on any of them other corners, T-Mac liable to have a day. So I got to slow that down. And then we got to find a way to create things on offense. Maybe have him play in the red zone for me in offense. But we got to find a way on offense to move we can move the ball. We got to find a way to score. Maybe I'll put him in the red zone so we can go score. But if because of the injury, you got to go shut down T-Mac. I can't have you just playing on offense and then T-Mac on the other side making our other corner look like he don't deserve to be out here.
Making another Shiloh Sanders highlight reel.
I'm glad Scott's back. I thought maybe he got too many body blows last night in his boxing match with Pat.
He went to the ice bath. He's fine. He went to the ice bath. Scott, we're talking about Travis Hunter playing possibly both ways again against Arizona on Saturday after the shoulder injury. As a GM, what are you looking for in a guy like that with 1 week? Obviously not knowing the details of his injury, but what are you looking for out of Travis Hunter this weekend?
Well, the thing about it is if he's healthy, you want him to go because he's a damn good football player and he helps you win games. But if he's not healthy, you got to protect him. Hold that. I'm sorry.
Is that Coach Prime calling you to tell you what to say about Travis?
No.
Oh, I was hoping someone put him on speaker. Put him on speaker.
No, but I'm just saying sometimes you got to protect kids from themselves. Gosh dang it!
Is he running a telethon over there, CJ?
Hey, all you gotta do is hit the mission and say, "I'll talk to you later."
Yeah, but you know what? You love seeing toughness. You love seeing competitiveness. You want guys that want to play. You know, that don't want to. Guys that they're turn their back and don't want to play. You're like, the hell with it. But you also got to protect him for him going forward too, because it's still you got a lot of season left. You know,
yep.
And then they got a chance to to end up having a pretty damn good season. And is it worth one game to miss the next 4, or is it worth to miss 2 now and then play for the rest of the season? So I mean, I don't know the severity of the injury. I know it didn't look very good, but again, everybody heals different, and I wouldn't think they'd put, especially Prime, put him in a harm's way going forward, not just for this year, but for his career too.
Yeah, Prime definitely know. Yeah, Prime definitely know like his future, and that's why for me, like, if I had to manage it, it would be like, hey, we've moved the ball so we can get in the red zone. We get in the red zone, high red. All right, Travis gonna come in and play receiver, but you got to play every defensive snap to stop their best player over there. Now, if their best player play running back, it'll probably be different, right? I'll probably play you in the red zone on defense and let you play offense all day. Right, but it's like, where are you going to get the least contact at? You're definitely going to get the least on the defense side of the football, unless you got to go tackle. But the defense for Colorado has been solid in stopping the run and doing some things where he don't have to tackle unless it's on the perimeter, right? But at least, if he's playing offense, he's going to get targets. He's going to have 8 to 12 catches. That's 8 to 12 times you're going to get hit. That's not causing the jam. That's not causing blocking in the run game. Because he's a football player. Like, he ain't thinking about, oh, my shoulder hurt. He playing.
Correct.
So,
hey, Peter, does CU have a chance to win if Travis Hunter doesn't play? If they decide to sit him last second, if he's a last second stretch, what do you think of CU's chances to win in Arizona are?
I think the spread is going to go from 2 points to double digits.
At least 7.
Or let me go this way. They go from Ferris Bueller to the Titanic.
Yeah, it's tough. You gotta understand, this dude is a top receiver coming out. Now, Scott didn't believe top 10. Peter said if he runs well, he can be top 10. Bro got size, speed, catch radius, and we already seen what he's done to DBs who don't belong out there. Colorado got some suspect DBs. Obviously, you saw last week. Like, can you imagine 24 guarding T-Mac? Can you imagine? Nah, it's not gonna work.
Hey, Rob, I'm getting all these texts.
Yeah.
Let everybody know I am giving platelets while I'm multitasking here doing the podcast. I'm at Children's Hospital and giving the platelets. A buddy of mine, Mark Burnham, Redman, we call him, going through cancer treatment upstate New York for blood cancer. So I'm doing this in his honor today.
That's awesome.
That's very cool.
So, Scott, without Travis Hunter, does CU have a chance tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, certainly. Anytime you got a quarterback, you got a chance. Now you need to play well, and it's not good having a down guy, one of your best guys down for sure. But also, other guys got to step up, And I think they're getting some confidence at CU. I think that the Prime's got them believing in themselves. And I know the quarterbacks believing in themselves, and I think they definitely have a chance.
Absolutely. Moving on back to the NFL, Adams gets moved to the Jets this week. How quickly is he up to speed playing with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets? Is this a CJ? You've had to learn a playbook before, and obviously Devontae's got some background with the Jets and Hackett. How quickly he's up and running with them?
Sunday, he's playing Sunday. I mean, the best thing that happened to me is when I got to LA and I'm looking at Sean's playbook and I'm like, oh, this is just like Kubiak's and Shanahan's and all the other West Coast systems I played in with Bix and tweaks. And Sean was so impressed that I got to pick up on the audibles and stuff. And I told him, you got to thank Peyton for that, right? If I didn't have that training from Peyton, I wouldn't have understood what that was. But the foundation of where Devontae comes from, learned football from when he was, with the Packers, always has been with Aaron. Mike McCarthy's system is one system. It's a little West Coast's. Athlete Matt LaFleur is West Coast's. Matt, and then Hackett's there, West coaches. So he's like, I got it. Even Luke Getsy, West coaches over there. So he walks in going, knows it. And then what makes it better, Pete said it last night, right? The audibles and knowing what Aaron wants, knowing how Aaron wants it, because he played with Aaron, gets him on the field right away on top of the foundation of his football where it came from, which is his time with the Packers of understanding the West Coast offense and the coaches that's been coaching him. So he's going to play Sunday, and he's going to have an impact if he's healthy.
How much does this move the needle for the Jets in the AFC East? Are they now moving back up towards contenders? Are they still? Who are they? Where do you see them finishing the season at, Peter? Are they top two in the AFC East? Are they wild card? Or
they was always top
the
two. Once Tua got hurt, they was always top two. There was no way they were going to be worse than the Dolphins, even with no Devontae.
Hey, no way.
with Tua being down, no disrespect.
That hurts right there a little. That hurts right there a little. All right. Something's giving me heartburn, CJ. I'm not sure what it is.
Let's not forget, you guys are missing. Everybody's focused on the Devontae Adams storyline for the Jets-Steelers game. What about the Russell Wilson storyline? First game in Pittsburgh. Let's not, that's a wild card there. Pittsburgh's offense hasn't been running on all cylinders. I think Justin Fields, it's funny. When was the last time a quarterback was benched going 4-2?
Brock Osweiler, 6-2. Bench for Peyton.
Well, no, he didn't get benched, but he didn't. Well, he picked Peyton either. Though.
All right. I mean, it's like the offense not moving, and it's like, well, what do we have to lose? Like, what do I got to lose? Like, I'm 4-2. I don't want to say I can waste a game. You don't waste games in the NFL. Scott can tell you that. But it's like the offense is not moving. Why not try Russell Wilson? A veteran quarterback who's been there, who understands it, who gets it, who sees it. Right? I mean, he is a veteran. Like, you are putting your faith in that.
You're 4-2, one of the top 10 teams.
I just told you we were 6-2 with a noodle arm Peyton, and we sat Brock in the 17th game. You remember, in the 16th game, 17th week of the season, we sat Brock in the second half and let Peyton come over and take over the game. And we just played better because we had Peyton in the game.
Well,
like,
Scott,
I remember when Peyton came in the huddle, we was all like, oh, shit, the sheriff here. We got to tighten up. Like, it just made us play better. And we played better. Like, I don't know if Russell Wilson got that effect, but that's all I'm saying. Peyton couldn't really throw the ball the way he wanted to. But when he came in the game in the second half against the Chargers that year, we was like, oh, we got Peyton back. And we just played better. Like, as a whole team, it just rises the team. And maybe that's what Russell can do for the Steelers.
Scott, I want to ask you, though, it's like with the Steelers and Justin Fields, like, there's more than one reason why a team wins the game more than the quarterback.
Correct.
So, like, what other things are you looking at? If you're willing to make that move, like, are they winning because of Justin Fields or despite of Justin Fields?
Well, I think the quarterback's the quarterback. No matter who's starting, they're the most important player on the field. But I always talk about the sum of the parts. The thing about with Tomlin, who's been around the block, it's not his first rodeo. He knows he identified traits early on when he signed both of them.
Yep. And
he came out right away and said Russell. And I think it's because of his leadership. I think it's because of his, experience, being a Super Bowl winner, and that type of stuff. Because Tomlin's not an idiot now. He's going to do the best thing he possibly do for the team. Now, Fields has played fine, and he's still kind of getting up to speed and all that, with the new system and all that. But, if he makes the move to Russell, it means he thinks Russell's a better football player to help them win, knowing that he's got a fallback option as well. I was kind of disappointed when I saw Fields' interview yesterday and him talking about, well, it's okay if I'm not the starter, and I didn't like that at all. I want a player that says, no, it's my job. You're not taking it from me. And still, if he does, still show the confidence to your teammates and to the organization that it's my gig, And I know with Russell, I was with him many years in Seattle. He won't back down now. I mean, I know he's getting older. I know he's lost some of his zip, but he's still, I think, a damn good football player. And
he can still throw the ball. He don't run it. He don't run it like he can no more, but he can still. He still got this.
Well, but thing is, CJ, as you're well aware, like you said with Peyton, coming in the huddle, you're like, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
It's go time. It's go time.
You got that veteran presence, a guy
Yep.
who's done
Yep.
it and a guy who's been
Yep.
successful of doing it.
Yep.
It's like a guy like Jordan Pickens go, I better be in the right spot because I know the ball gonna get there because
Yep.
of who it is.
Yep.
Right. And I think like to piggyback on what Scott said, Tomlin knows the locker room. That's one thing he does know. So he ain't making no moves that's gonna divide the locker room. That's one thing Pac said yesterday. I didn't really feel right. So that's one. But another thing is too, like, bro, they ran fake toss quarterback like counter with Justin Fields. You gotta tweak and change some things as a play caller, right? Arthur Smith ain't gotta do that with Russell, right? Russell come from Darrell Bevel in the West Coast system. Arthur Smith runs the West Coast. We can get back to what we do, and I can get back to game planning the way I want without sprinkling specialty plays for a guy who's not all the way there yet in Justin Fields. So I think that's another reason why the move was made. Because like as I'm thinking as a play caller for me, I'm going into Scott, the GM, or Mike Tomlin, the head coach. I'm saying, hey, I got to come up with 6 or 7 new players, which I'm not mad about being creative. But man, I'm telling you, you hired me to run this offense and for this to work. We got Russell for this to do it. So I think that's another reason too.
Well, the interesting thing is with that is that the Jets are not going to have a lot of analytics because Russell Wilson's starting. Of course, the Steelers won't have the same analytics because now, like you talked about last night, now you have Devontae Adams. He's now the number 1. Wilson's the number 2. Lazard's the number 3. That changes all the analytics for the Jets.
Very true.
Now you get these 2 games with Week 7 where everybody's supposed to have all this game film and we're supposed to know what you do and all this stuff.
And we got 2 teams playing like it's Week 1.
Throw it out the window.
Absolutely. I'm hearing Scott say that Russell Wilson won't back down because he's too slow to back down anymore. But Peter, what are you telling your guys if you have a quarterback on your roster and he just got benched for a healthy scratch to become the backup for Russell Wilson? What are you telling him the next day?
He's got to be ready because he's 1 ankle, 1 interception, whatever from playing. And this was a year with Justin Fields. If you want to, let's go back even further. Justin, you're a free agent after this year. Bears didn't pick up your 5th-year option. Steelers didn't pick it up. You go out there, and he's looking at a contract anywhere from $3 million a year to $60 million on how you play. Right now, he's, tinkering or teetering more on the $3 million for next year. But if he goes out there and plays like, Brock Osweiler, 4 or 5 good games, he can get up on the upper echelon of that spectrum.
CJ,
you better be ready.
If you're coaching the Steelers and you're on the OC side, do you have a few special packages that where Justin Fields is on the field with Russell Wilson or playing quarterback to sort of make the defense play a little honest still? Or would you
maybe Justin Fields is athletic, so maybe, right?
Like 3rd and short or something like that. Are you putting Justin Fields in for Russell?
You got some trick plays in the high red zone or in the strike zone. Some unscripted, unscouted plays. Yeah, you definitely put it out there, make other teams prepare for it, give them another headache to what to do, which is probably something that they had right earlier in training camp when you heard, oh, Justin Fields might be playing this or Justin Fields might be a part of this, right? You've heard those reports come out when they had them. But right now, we just need right now as an offense, when I look at the numbers, the Steelers were like bottom half of the league, 25 and lower. And that ain't as a coordinator, that's just not gonna cut it. That's just not gonna cut it to my boss, the GM, right? It's just not gonna cut it to Scott. Like Scott gonna go to Mike gonna come to me, and then I'm I can't sit there and go, well, hey, you gave me Justin Fields. Like I can't sit there and say that, right? I gotta find a way to put we're 4-2. Our defense is playing well. Right, I'm telling Russell, don't turn the ball over, but then put points on the board so we can now we don't have to make these games so dang stressful.
The thing is, Rob, from my standpoint, is with quarterbacks, you want to get them in a flow. You want to get them momentum, and you want to keep them rolling with it. When you pull them in and out, I haven't seen it work very often. I get what you're saying, where you're coming from because of the athleticism, and say it's 3rd and short or whatever. And you run them out there, you run the other quarterback out, and you run the quarterback back on. I've never been a fan of that ever, and it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. from my standpoint, I just never been a fan of it. I think you get a quarterback playing, you get him playing, and if he's healthy, why take him out? I mean,
my best rule, Rob. My best rule: if you got 2 quarterbacks, you have none.
zero.
Is it kind of? I always thought of it like in the short yardage situations. If you got to put a Justin Fields, who's more of a running back quarterback, it's like if you got a guy like CJ behind you, if your job's to run the ball, get the ball to the guy whose job's to run the ball.
Correct. Well, you got to figure, but look back with the Saints with Taysom Hill,
Mm-hmm.
he hell of an athlete, but what is teams player, and they always said, oh, it was great, look who's coming in, and I think it always messed Drew Brees up, because he don't come, they don't want to come off the field at all. Yeah, I'm telling you again, it's a sum of the parts, and if you believe in your quarterback, show the confidence in the quarterback that he can make a play on third down.
So Scott, you would be opposed that if the Steelers used maybe every 4th series, they go to Justin Fields, put a whole different package in.
I would. I'm not a fan of that.
Not a fan at all. I'm not a fan of that as a play caller.
Hey, CJ, as a player, is that harder to adjust where you're trying to get used to Russell Wilson's cadence, everything, and then Justin Fields comes in?
Usually they practice where it can get close. If anybody gonna have the chemistry issues, the dudes on the outside, it ain't got nothing to do with me and the lineman. But as a coach and as a play caller, I'm not a fan of that. I truly believe if you got 2 quarterbacks on the roster, you don't have one. If you still don't know who to go and you don't have one, I truly believe in that's old school philosophy, but I truly believe in that.
So you're saying my Dolphins should trade for Justin Fields more than Derek Carr?
That'll give you future upside.
I would trade for Bryce Young.
I would too, but that's just me.
Do you think he's going to get rehabbed in Carolina, or does he got to go somewhere else to sort of get his second chance?
Who is this?
Bryce Young.
Hey, look what's going on with Andy Dalton right now. Like they scoring, but they ain't winning. Right? Dalton is still playing back. Like the roster. Scott can tell you, the roster's just not good. Like he came out firing rockets against the Raiders. It looked good, but since then he ain't really looked. He looked almost just a little tad better than Bryce. Right? Like it ain't improved. It looked good for week 1, but it ain't improved. Right? Like, but now what do? Do you go back to Bryce Young? Like this is the whole Russell Wilson thing, right? If Russell come in and it doesn't look the same, now what you do? You go back to Justin Fields? Like you gotta go through the growing pains. You wasn't I get trying to win a championship every year, but you didn't have a championship roster. So you go through those growing pains with Bryce Young and you get him better and you continue to do those things. I said the same thing about if that's the case, you start Andy Dalton and then you sit Andy Dalton to finish with Bryce Young, just like what the Patriots did. You start Jacoby Brissett. Then Jacoby gets hurt, or when you get ready to bench him, now you go with Drake May, and now you're going through the growing pains, but you're already 4 or 5 losses in the game where you know you out of it. So
well, Scott had an interesting dynamic or scenario when he took over the Redskins because they had RG3 and then also some guy named Kirk Cousins. Right, Scott?
Yep. Yeah. No. It's the thing about quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks. Again, I keep saying it. I keep harping on it. It's some of the parts. Bryce is not going to win by himself. Not right now.
Oh, not
a
right
chance
now.
in heck. Not a chance in heck. He needs an offensive line. He needs a running game. And as you saw last year, they had neither. And this year it's a little better, but not where it should be for a young guy to win. Now, do you want to put him out there and take a chance of getting him hurt, what you invested in him already, as a first pick overall? Or, I did the same thing when I was in San Fran with Alex the first year. McCarthy told me, we're not going to play him. We can't. He's not even close to ready. I said, I understand that. Okay, but year 2, year 3, year 4, I wanted to see progress. And it happened. But still, he got beat up. He got beat up bad. And, and I've already said this too about David Carr. I signed him at the end of his career. He was beaten down now. I mean,
he was getting slapped in Houston.
Oh no, he set a record as a rookie.
right.
Sex, and he said I never came back from that. I never my mechanics, my techniques all went to waste. And I lost confidence. And It doesn't matter what position you're at, especially quarterback. If you lose your confidence, that's awful.
Speaking of rookie quarterbacks in the sum of all parts, I want to go back to the Broncos, CJ. With your OC background, where you want to go with that, are you happier with Sean Payton's play calling for Bo Nix this Thursday night on a short week than previous weeks?
Yeah, he was a lot more. I mean, a couple of times. There's a couple of things. I've been happy with Sean Payton play calling probably for the last like 2.5, 3 weeks. I would say 3 weeks. Earlier in the season, I thought he was trying to little too much on Bo. Bo was also turning the ball over, which that puts a lot on his plate. He's dumbed it down every week. I don't know if anybody paid attention. I mean, I have. He's dumbed it down every week. So I've been excited with Sean in the way he's doing things with Bo Nix. Keeping it in the 22 to 25. I mean, he had 26 passes yesterday, but keeping it anywhere between 22 and 26. Anything over 26, when you start getting to 28, 30, you're throwing the ball too much.
How happy are you that we got 225 yards on the ground as a team? I mean, Bo Nix may be our second best running back right now.
I mean, he also got design runs. You can do that with Bo, right? I mean, he had a good design QB counter that almost went to the crib if he didn't trip over himself. But that's what it is, right? If you can run the ball, right, and if you can ask Bo to give you 180 yards, I know that's less. He had like 170 or something yesterday. But if you can have him give 180 yards and you can rush for 170, 180, 190 every game, you'll be in games the way Vance got the defense playing. If Vance didn't have the defense playing that way, the Broncos would be in trouble, but they're not. So that's a good thing.
No, absolutely. We're going to switch gears. Denver Nuggets, they're a few weeks away from opening season. Coach Malone, is he calling his players
third
soft?
quarter to try to push their envelope a little bit. That was probably a little bit.
We'll start the clip over here. We're trying this.
Like tonight, I ran those guys the whole third quarter. And obviously Jamal didn't play in the second half, but played that starting unit the whole third quarter to try to push their envelope a little bit. That was probably a little bit hard on some of those guys. And then in practice, I think, we can get up and down more. I think so often as coaches in modern day NBA, the league has gotten so soft, everybody's afraid to condition and run. We have to.
Welcome to the NFL, Mike. I'm glad he said it.
I love it.
So is it a basketball thing? Is it a new era of young athletes thing? We'll start with CJ. If you heard that coming from your head coach, what would you be thinking?
I gotta get in shape, but I'm glad I never had to get in shape problem. But you got to, man. I mean, the only way you can play any game at your highest level is to be the best condition that you can possibly be. And especially in basketball. Basketball, way more running than football. It's up and down. It's fast paced. Yeah, you can slow it down for the half court game, but you got to be laterally quick. You gotta put yourself in position where you can run. Now, the problem I think with it is in the modern day NBA, I heard Allen Iverson talk about this. They just don't play 82 games no more. So, they conditioned for the 60 games, 50 games that they literally missing 20 games. All right, rest days. Rest days, bro? What are we talking about?
You never got a rest day in the NFL, CJ?
Hell no. You'd be lucky to get one at practice. Right, Scott? You're lucky you get one at practice, man.
Yeah.
Like Coob gave vet days and it was cool, but Coob in those vet days, we wasn't just watching practice. We was working out with the with the strength staff before practice started. We going hard in the strength staff so we can stay in condition. So it's crazy that he says that about the modern day NBA, because it's the same thing in the modern day NFL. It's the same thing in high school. I remember when I was head coach at Monte Vista, I had parents complaining that I was running their kids too much, and I'm like, how you want your kids to be in shape to play? Some of these kids gotta go both ways too. You gotta get them in shape. You gotta get them ready. It's the only way they're gonna be able to play X amount of plays and be in the also it ain't just getting in shape. You gotta think when you tired. You have to think correctly when you tired.
Yeah.
You're gonna get tired. You gotta do those things.
My takeaway though from Malone is that the NBA head coach has changed from coach to sort of psychologist, sort of manipulator. you ever see Bill Parcells say, "Well, I think we might have to work." They'd be like, "These guys are out of shape, MFers, and I'm going to run their asses." Or what are the worst words you want to hear when you're a player? On the end line.
On the end line, yeah.
Oh.
You don't want to hear that.
Like, the NBA coach now is sort of dancing around, and he's like a pitcher nibbling on the corners. And when Parcells would be throwing straight heat down the.
Yeah, but it's kind of sad to hear that, right? And I mean that's just at least in the NBA. Like I said, it's rest days in the NBA. Like remember we was on 20 years ago. We talking about Allen Iverson and missing practice, but he played in every game. We ain't talking about nobody missing games because they on a rest day. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and the thing about it from a personnel standpoint, I know when I started whatever 30 years ago working in it, guys played. You get paid to play the game, and nowadays, and not knocking them because it's a new generation. I get it, all that stuff. Philosophies change, systems change, schemes change, all that stuff. But the ones I'm still looking for, the guys that want to practice every day, want to play every day, want to, because that's their life. That's their lifeline. That's how they identify themselves, and, basketball, of course, is different than football. I mean, whatever, personalities, mentalities, all that. But still, I didn't want a guy that was a prima donna, and I think in basketball, you have some prima donnas, and so is football. Don't get me wrong. I've had them on my team before, but still, you want them to show up every day, and they get paid to play the game, and practice and play, and you get after their asses. And like Peter said, it might be a mental thing. He's trying to talk to somebody we talked about last night, one or two guys that listen. It's go time. I understand it's a long season, but it's go time because we got to win.
Hey, Scott, have you ever had guys like their game, like a term we use in high school sometimes is we call them gamers, where they're terrible practice guys.
Oh yeah,
just terrible. But they actually put good
Allen
film
Iverson?
out there. Yeah. Well, they look bad in practice.
Rob, what are we talking about? Practice. What are we talking about?
Practice. We're talking about practice.
Like Peyton. Peyton will miss every Wednesday when he got older in his career, right? We didn't let him throw. Like he did the walkthroughs, he did the mental stuff, right? But this is year 17, 18 for Peyton. He missed Wednesdays, but he didn't miss no Sunday unless he was hurt. Like, can you imagine as an owner and as a GM paying LeBron James $50 million a game and his ass $50 million a year and his ass is missing games? Like, you can sit out for practice, bro. You old enough to chill for practice, but you need to play these games. You making 50 M's and we chilling.
You know what, CJ? I guarantee Peyton didn't want to take the day off.
Oh, not at all.
No, I mean,
he hated it,
and he did mentally. I guarantee he was out.
Oh no, mentally he was like I said, we did walkthroughs. He'll be in the walkthroughs and drop back and do this. Like he threw the ball. Like that's 18. But like when we was running the full speed stuff, he was in the back. He got the script right, reading it out. But he wasn't missing no Sundays.
Yeah.
So CJ, here's a little tidbit for you. When the Las Vegas Knights came into the NHL the first year, because there's no buys in hockey. The only buy in hockey during the season is the All-Star break.
Right.
Other than that, you're playing every other night. Boom, boom. It's throw it down. So what the team said to themselves is, look, we're going to play an expansion team in Vegas. Right? We're playing on Thursday. We'll go out there on Monday. No curfew, no nothing, no practice. And just let the boys just go have a blast. It's like a mini in-season bye. And that's why the Knights won so many games. Because they're playing these teams that were all hungover.
But I've never heard of that happening in pro sports before. Never heard of that before.
But the coaches were fine with it. They're like, all right, we're going to go to Vegas in January. We'll go there on Monday. Bring your golf clubs, whatever you want to do. Sit at the pool for 3 days. And if we lose one game out of 82 so that we can recharge our batteries, it was fine. And the Knights basically benefited from it.
The Knights benefit from it by winning.
Do you think that happens
winning
to the Nuggets?
Right.
Does that happen to the Nuggets and the Avs in the regular season too, with like where teams are going, you know what, we're not going to, with the altitude, they may rest guys more or not play them as much just because of the recovery time? Does that happen in Denver for the?
Well, no. What happens though in hockey is you have 82 games. Your starting goaltender is going to start 60 or 55. That means you as the coach have to pick the 20 games that you're going to start your second goalie. And a lot of times it is against the Knights or the Kraken or whoever the expansion team is. Could you look at the schedule and say, okay, when am I going to give this guy a break? Because he ain't playing 82 games. And so if you really think about it, that's like we were talking about earlier, the starting quarterback. You go into a game and say, okay, well, we're going to play Peyton Manning against these teams, but whoever, Brock Osweiler,
we should be able to win against the Browns back in
Brock
2015.
Osweiler, we're going to start.
Yeah,
never do that. Never do that in the NFL.
Nah, at all.
Never.
Our games matter too much. Those September games are going to start to matter here for seeding and all that. Every game matter in the league, and I think that's the difference. We don't play like we don't get 162 games. You don't get 82 games. You get 17 now, and all 17 matters. Like every single one matters.
And how about in baseball, Scott, when you used to have a dedicated catcher for a pitcher? And that dedicated catcher, the reason he was called a dedicated catcher is because he had no batting average. But he was, wasn't your college roommate a dedicated catcher in the big league?
Yes. Doug Mirabelli. He caught Wakefield the knuckleballer for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
That's like playing like a hockey goalie in baseball, isn't it?
Right, but I guarantee if he had a 270 batting average, he wouldn't have been a dedicated catcher.
Yeah.
Correct.
So obviously rest his soul. Tim only could pitch to that catcher?
Yeah, he's the only one who could catch him because he's a knuckleball.
Yeah, that knuckle was weird. I know that knuckle was sick. It was a sick pitch.
He played another probably 4 years in his career. I think it was like 10 years with the Red Sox. He was in the bigs with them. He was designated catcher for him.
Wow.
Yeah, he liked them, and yeah.
I need that job.
100%. Thing about it, I'll tell you this much. I know this. He batted fourth my freshman year, and I batted fifth. So I'd follow him up.
Yeah.
He got on first base. He's going base to base. He's so slow. The one time I was watching the Cubs game. They said he's the slowest baseball player in Major League Baseball history.
Wow.
I'm like, dude, get out of my way. I'm coming.
Yeah. Your triple is a double because he don't want to move past first to third.
100%.
TJ, you would have been Bob Uecker as a catcher. And they asked Bob Uecker, how did he catch the knuckleball? He goes, easy. The pitcher threw it. I waited till it stopped rolling, and I picked it up. That's how I caught it.
Speaking of baseball and other games, besides the Broncos and CU, what games are you guys looking forward to this weekend? We got Major League playoffs going on. We got, Avs playing tonight. We got college football.
If I go college football, obviously you got Alabama at Tennessee. You got Georgia at Texas, right? You got the two big ones sitting there. If you move down towards the NFL, I like the Texans versus the Packers. That's a good one. I like the Lions versus the Vikings. That's another good one. Right? So it's gonna be some ones. And now when you got the Chiefs and the Niners, right? Can the Niners not lose another game, right? Can they
here's the game. It's 7 weeks ago, and if I would have told you we're gonna watch the first place Lions and the first place Vikings, 4-1 versus 5-0. Ain't nobody in Vegas would have had one loss.
Well, they'd have the Lions up there, but not the Vikings. They'd have the Lions, but not the Vikings for sure.
Oh. That's right.
Big facts. That's big facts. But yeah,
you got the Super Bowl rematch, Chiefs and the Niners.
Yeah, you got the Chiefs and the Niners, right? And then obviously, I gotta watch my Yanks, right? Gotta love the Yanks. Right? Oh, yeah. Gotta love the Yanks. We should have squared one out. Dodgers played absolutely great yesterday. They're punching their ticket, right? Little brothers over there in Queens, they ain't doing too well. We just need to steal one in Cleveland, and we'll be fine when we get back to the Bronx.
What's interesting, too, about baseball is the travel. They go 2-2, 1-1-1.
Yeah, like the basketball format.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but these are – you're going from New York to L.A. to New York
to New York to L.A., yeah, New York to L.A., yeah. Or New York to Cleveland, which that ain't too bad.
An easy fight.
But New York to LA is crazy. Another game that is I think is going to be good to watch is Michigan at Illinois. Illinois is a little sneaky, and then you also got I think Indiana, right? Indiana undefeated. They play Nebraska, right? Yep. So that's another game I'm interested in watching as well. It's a good weekend of sports. It's a good weekend of sports.
I'll tell you what, Rob, it's going to be very interesting. The Georgia Texas. I think.
Hey, Rob, hold up. Chanel wants to give her prediction for the CU game tomorrow.
Yeah, Chanel.
Go CU. CU is winning.
Okay, here we go.
Nice.
I think the Georgia Texas game's big time because I think Texas is going to prove to everybody they're legit number one.
You
legit.
got Texas over Kirby. I like Sark too, though.
Yep. Yeah. No.
No way.
Hey,
way Kirby lose another big one.
Well, I'll tell you what, partner. I've done a lot of tape work. That Texas team
they best team in the country.
Talented.
They good, bro. They good.
They got young guys. They got veterans. They got everything across the board. They got two quarterbacks. They got whatever they need.
They fly around too.
Yeah.
They fly around too.
Oh yeah, no. Sark's got them. There ain't no BS.
Sark got them playing. Sark got them playing ball, and they at home. That helps too. They in Austin. Yep. It's gonna be live. Game day will be there. It's gonna be
I think honestly, I really do. In Beck's a solid quarterback, with Georgia, but I think Texas can come out and show the whole world we got a new boss in town. The whole world. I really do.
I like Kirby, man. I mean, I like Sark a lot. I'm offensive
I like Kirby
guy,
too. He's
but
a good coach.
I don't think Kirby defense play as bad as they did when they played against Alabama. I just don't think Kirby is gonna let that slide.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good game. I got Texas. I also got Texas finding a way to win that game. Yeah. But I do got Kirby have the defense playing better.
No, and they will.
Alabama.
I just think that they're running into a monster. I think this is Texas' year. I really do. And not being mean, I like Sark. I've known Sark a long time. But
I love Sark. I love his offensive mind.
And I'm not a Texas fan at all. But I think the way they show on tape and the way they play on both sides of the ball in special teams, I think they're going to come out and just kick some tail. I really do. I think it's going to be, I wouldn't say a blowout, but it's going to be an ass whooping.
And then I think on the other end, I think Tennessee finally shows like we belong. I don't know if Alabama beats Tennessee in Tennessee this year.
Tennessee's offense has been the most disappointing part of college football this year.
It's been bad. It has not been what you thought it was going to be.
More disappointing than Florida State's offense?
Yeah, DJ.
Florida State, I said college football. Florida State is not even in college football. I have no idea what they're doing.
DJU not solid, man.
What's that?
DJU, he out of there.
And then the two games that I'm just fascinated, and I will be for the rest of this year. Who's Army playing and who's Navy playing?
I was got one of my wrap-up questions is who's going to lose first, Army or Navy this season?
They both play each other at the end. I'm going to go to their schedules. I know they both in the American Conference. They both have not played Tulane yet, though, right? Tulane.
And they're both in the top 25 now.
Yeah, Army plays East Carolina. Army should dominate them, and then Navy plays Charlotte. But when they play, like Tulane is the outside of their undefeated record. Tulane is usually the best team in that conference. Navy plays Tulane in 2 weeks, 3. Oh, Navy actually plays Notre Dame next week. Navy might be the first one. Navy play Notre Dame next week.
So you don't think they could beat Notre Dame? Come on, no.
I'm not saying they can. I'm not saying they can't.
They can't beat Notre Dame.
Triple option. No, Notre Dame can't afford to lose another one. You got to think about that. And then when you look at Army, Army play Notre Dame. They both might lose to Notre Dame. Army play Notre Dame the week after they play Notre Dame. So,
and at Yankee Stadium.
Oh yeah, at Yankee Stadium. I forgot how they set it up there. Yeah.
Army's pretty dang good now. Army, that quarterback's playing.
Quarterback balling, ain't he?
Yeah. Not saying he's an NFL guy.
He's balling, though. It's good to see him balling.
Yes.
He's going to serve our country very, very right when he finishes his career. But he's balling right now.
100%. 100%.
Hey, guys, as we wrap this up, the Ducks versus the Avs in Denver tonight. Who you got?
Anaheim Ducks.
Anaheim Ducks.
CJ's like, who?
Nah. I don't watch hockey, but I know it. I know enough.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm the same way. Don't worry.
I had to make sure I was like Anaheim Ducks. You know,
you got to ask Peter. He's the expert.
He's the hockey guy, right? Only thing I know about the Ducks is the flying V, baby.
I didn't think we get a Mighty Ducks reference in here today, but we got
Come on,
Bueller,
man. Got
Caddyshack, Back to
got
the Future now
got
in the Mighty
flying
Ducks.
V, baby. Yeah, it's knuckle puck time.
This is a
Peter.
big weekend for CU though. I mean, I'm just telling you right now. If they lose this, it could sort of go like last year, south again real fast. I think this is
Probably need to find a way to win 4 games. I had them winning 8 this year. You got to find a way to win 4 games.
You had them winning 8, right?
8 was the ceiling, so like 7 to 8, yes. Anything above that was like overachieving. But I said for Prime to push the program to the next level, knowing he losing Shador and Travis, if he wins 8 games, he does that.
So he needs to get his 5th one tomorrow.
But you think they can win 8 games?
Well, the way Oklahoma State playing this year, yeah. I didn't have them. Remember, I had them losing the last 3. That all changes now, right? Utah's not playing as well either. And Cam Rising he has an 8th year. Can't believe
they got to
the
win
people
4
like
to 6.
the people who look like you gave Cam Rising an 8th year. I don't know why they did that, but I think they can. I think they can compete with Utah now. I definitely think they compete with. You got to think. I had them losing UCF and they won it. I had them losing Kansas State and they lost it. Right. I had them beating Arizona and I have them beating Texas Tech. That's 5 and 6. Right now, Kansas, they should be like the last 3 that we thought they were going to lose. They actually can compete with the last 3 because none of those teams are playing well.
Correct.
But what happens if they lose the next 3?
That's tough. Good luck. See ya.
Because they lose the next 3, then they got Utah. They could lose the next 4, and then they would have to play Oklahoma State and KU just to get bowl eligible.
Yeah, no, it could. This is.
I hope it don't come down to that. If it come down to
game.
that, then I think it's gonna be some trouble if it comes down to that.
Speaking of other pivotal games, Scott, do you have the Dodgers finishing off the gentleman's sweep against the New York Mets tonight?
Yes, I do. I think, matter of fact, honestly, I think they're getting hot again.
Gentleman's sweep. It's a sweep.
It's 4-1. It'll be 4-1. It's a gentleman's sweep. 4-1.
Mets did win a game. Yeah, Mets did win a game. I forgot.
You know what? For the fans and for the baseball, like me, fans, you like to see a good series, but you also like to see the best team just finish it off, get it done, get some time off, get ready, for the series.
No, the Mets are bringing back Tom Seaver, the pitch, and Tug McGraw is going to come in as a closer. They're going to win tonight.
They're going to need more than a DeLorean. Yankees versus Guardians tonight. CJ, who you got?
We win this one tonight. I had us. It's crazy. We was in game 3, and I didn't think I had us losing game 3, and it happened. We win game 4. We win game 5, and hey, we'll be flying to LA. They'll be coming to us. I think we won the All-Star game. AL won the All-Star game this year, right? Bring y'all come to the Bronx. Come to LA. Come to the Bronx. Right? Come to the Yonkers. We in the Yonkers. Come to us. Come on.
Don't worry.
It's time to get it cracking with LA. You know what I'm saying?
I told you guys the other day. We went with the first game. I said when you got your first 3 batters are former MVPs.
Yeah,
you're doing all right.
Good job.
You're doing all right.
And obviously we're fine. We're like this will be good. I like who we have on the mound tonight. We'll get Garrett Cole on the mound. Game 1 with the Dodgers, or maybe game 5 if we need to close it out. We'll be fine. We'll be okay. I love what we're doing over there. Aaron Boone he ain't made me too mad. I respect Aaron Boone. I remember what he did for us in 07, 09. The walk off. I think it was 09. Yeah, I remember the Grand Slam walk off.
You ever have a walk off in college, Scott, or pros?
Oh yeah.
How does that feel, man? Is that like a game-winning touchdown?
It's really cool because you're excited when you do it, and when you get to home plate, your whole team's there. They all want to attack you. Quit hitting me in the head and try and pull my jersey off. I'm like, I get it. It's cool, but leave me alone.
It's like you say. It's like you turn in the corner and here comes Judgment Day. Goodness.
They're all lined up, and you just know you can't get beat up. You just know it. I'm like, just leave me alone. I get paid to do this. My job. I have to do it.
Should they just change the rule that in baseball, if you hit a home run, you don't have to go run the bases?
No. The fun's running the bases. Now, I've never danced or anything.
It can be
You know,
softball.
going in
Softball, you hit the home run, they come out the dugout every time.
Yeah.
So imagine Scott, every home run he's got hit, they banging his head every home.
Oh, yeah. I mean, knock
It's the
crud out of
fourth
it.
inning.
Yeah.
Scott hit another one in the seventh.
Yeah. Stop hitting them.
Man, the softball girls, they do it every time.
Well, nowadays the big thing is that they'll tear the jerseys off and stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, that's with the Astros. Remember when?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Altuve was like, no, don't touch my jersey.
Right.
I got a mic underneath it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Hey guys, as we wrap this up, we got the victory Friday because the Broncos won last night. So Bronco free weekend here, but leaving on a victory. What are you guys doing with your extra time on Sunday?
I watch football.
Right. You got 3 football guys here.
Yeah.
For any listeners out there, there is no excitement over here.
You guys aren't going to go see
football guys. We're probably going to be more in depth in football. We'll probably be texting each other in our group chat about a different game. We'll find a way to watch more football.
I do the same thing every day, Rob. Football. It's a crying shame, but it's the truth, and I love it. Love it.
No, that's great. So, Peter, how's the platelets? You got any left?
They say I've still got another hour. I've been trapped on this machine for 2. Another hour to go. But it's platelets. It's not just giving blood.
That's what it is. Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah, so they suck it out of you and then they throw it back in.
Then they throw it back in.
Platelets, so they need it for treatment for guys, kids with pediatric cancer, blood cancer patients.
It's awesome, bud.
That's what we're doing.
It's awesome.
Well, very cool.
I told the Broncos, all my Broncos last night. It's like, we got a winnable game against Carolina. I said, as Coach Brooks
I told you, don't do that. Don't do that.
Y'all don't have enough talent to win on talent alone.
Right. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Y'all gotta come play.
That's a trap game.
Yeah, they gotta come play.
Are you calling it a trap game?
Yeah,
we'll revisit that in a week. See if the attitudes of the Broncos have changed. They got the mini bye, and we'll see you guys here next week. And looking forward to it, guys. Peter Schaffer, thank you so much. Thanks for giving up of your platelets. Scott, the GM, thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing your insights.
Certainly.
Thanks. I don't see any ice packs laying around from Pac-Man yesterday, so it looks like he's recovered well.
We're fine. I speak my opinion.
They've been texting each other all morning. We've on a group talk. They've been texting.
However, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the National Football League.
100%.
Pac was out of there.
If you just want to get back,
like if you want to blame highness, we can just blame he was high.
Yeah. Whatever's going on, I gotta state my opinion. I'm not gonna sit back.
Yeah, what do you say? If you in Ohio and I want that what you smoking, nah, we want what you smoking. If you saying that Patrick Mahomes ain't the best, I don't smoke and I want what you smoking. If you feel that good.
Well, CJ Anderson, any parting thoughts before we wrap this up?
Nah, man. See y'all next week. Good that the Broncos win. See y'all next week.
Really good. All right, fellas.
Later.
Good job.